Hello there, friends and RC family. My name is Alec from High Noon Hobbies, and if you are new to this channel, I very much appreciate you checking it out. Hope you will stick around, watch at least this video, see if this content seems worth your while, and consider subscribing so then I can say to you, if you aren't new here, welcome back to yet another Friday upload, this time on the channel. We are back down in the beautiful Sand Hollow State Park for yet another fantastic round of Class 3 driving. This time we're going to be taking a look at Christian from Rock Pirates. He's going to be running through a very tough Class 3 course, same one that we saw Desert RC run through in the previous Class 3 video for this area, for the coverage on this particular qualifying round, the first Southern qualifier round? Yeah, first Southern qualifier round. You can see it's very windy about, and we've got some of the 6th scale crawlers. These are converted over SCX6s with the Curry bodies, which are done by Mike over at West Valley Hobbies. Pretty rad little setups, if you ask me. I think, well, little might not be the right term. These rad big setups that seem to crawl quite well. I was very impressed watching these things roll around. But yeah, we're going to take a look at Christian from Rock Pirates running his Rock Pirates Class 3 rig through with the wiggly bits through this course, and let's see how it turns out for him. Let's see if he can manage this course in the short time frame given, and see how well he does doing it. So let's just jump straight into this run. As per usual, High Noon Hobby fashion, coming in just a little bit late to this run. But let's get started with this initial descent, which is a toughie, but not particularly tough looking when Christian does it in this planted Rock Pirates RC rig. Really impressive weight distribution on this rig. Lands on all four with no problems whatsoever. Now, it is fun. There was a little bit of comment going on here that pretty much every single Class 3 driver made that little section right there that he just crossed over into an obstacle when it didn't need to be an obstacle. You could have just gone an extra foot or so past that ledge, and instead of having to crawl up the ledge, you could have taken a tight turn, but you can do that because you've got wiggly bits in a Class 3 car, and it wouldn't have been a problem whatsoever. You can see that ledge on the driver's side here is pushing Christian down into this boundary line. Unfortunately, hitting that boundary line, getting the plus 10 right out of the gate, not a great way to start. Having to take a reverse to get himself back lined up so that he doesn't come off of the edge here on this passenger side. But even with that first reverse, struggling, and what you're going to notice here, what you probably have noticed if you are a Class 3 driver, is that he wasn't really paying attention to his rears. Always make sure that you're paying attention to your rear tires or your rear direction of your tires when you are in Class 3 in competition, because like that, probably didn't need 3 reverses there. Probably could have managed with no reverses if we managed that rear steer effectively, but unfortunately he was pointed downhill and he kept sliding downhill, and the thought process there is sound, right? I want to make a tight turn, so I'm going to turn my rears the opposite direction that I want to make the turn. That thought process is sound, but when you start sliding down a side hill, you want to point those rears back up the hill. That's going to help you get a little bit more leverage, and it's going to stop pushing that front end down towards that boundary line. So, you know, it is what it is. We all learn from our mistakes, but that's kind of what I noticed just in that moment. And, you know, Christian is he's battling the elements here. He's got the wind in his face. He's got the sand in his face. He's got sand in his controller, and he's obviously battling the time. So a lot of factors make it difficult to kind of assess what you're doing in the moment, but that's what I saw after the fact. So hindsight's 20/20, but, you know, we can all learn from these runs in the end, and so that's why I'm pointing that out. Taking that tight entrance into this gate number 5 typically wouldn't work out because you got to make this turn here, which is a very tight turn. You want to come a little bit lower, but because Christian has dig, not a big deal. That's definitely a point for having dig in my book on your Class 3 rig. I think that this played to his advantage multiple times, having that dig unit in there. You can see that probably was not the best use of dig. You can see that he ended up actually starting to slide towards that driver's side cone because he was in dig, and he was already up over the ledge, so the dig wasn't really helping him get any bite on the rock. So I wouldn't have necessarily put it in dig there, but you know, I can see the logic behind it, and it's tough. It's a tough decision to make as to when to use dig when you're coming up and over a ledge like that and when not to. But in that scenario, you can see that because he was in dig, that front end started sliding, and then he ended up bumping that gate. So an unfortunate turn of events there, but let's see. He cleans that next gate fairly easily, and then unfortunately he has a little rollover. And that, again, just a lesson to all of us. Make sure that even when if you're driving and you've got to walk, maybe take a pause on your time and just walk to where you need to get to, and then unpause the time so you can really focus on where you're driving. Because even in between gates can get you. In that scenario, Christian just wasn't quite paying attention to where he was going and bumped off that ledge. Taking this bonus here like a champion, though, making that look like an absolute piece of cake, dropping 10 points off of his score, getting him down to an 18. Now, taking a look at the time, we've got over 4 minutes on the clock, which means we have less than 2 minutes left to get through this course, and now we're starting to get the run out of Christian. He's starting to kind of, you know, bump up the pace a little bit here. Still want to take your time getting through this tough turnaround gate, though. You can see taking the right line. This is the same line that we saw Desert RC taking, you know, getting that driver's side tire up high on the wall and then crawling over the rear to follow that same line high up on the wall. And this rig super planted, really nice weight distribution here, and looks like an absolute piece of cake. Crawls right through that, doesn't have to use any sort of throttle to get through there. You can see a little bit of wind bumping up. Tough day to be a driver, but luckily Christian's got those pit vipers on, so you can see exactly what he's doing. He's not getting any sand in his eyes. Taking this descent down through, let's see, I think this is number 8, if I'm recalling correctly. This might be gate 7, might be gate 8. We'll see in a second here. But this is a tough one. You kind of just have to roll through it. You can see he's using that dig unit at the top, trying to load up that front end so that the rear end slides through nicely. And I think that was pretty dang good. Again, weight distribution nice, low center of gravity, making that look like a piece of cake, and not tapping those gates. So that was 8. This is 9 here, crawling along the ledge, having to get as close to that gate number 9 as you possibly can. You can see that he handles that with no issue whatsoever as well. Going over towards that second bonus gate, and now he's checking with the judge to see how much time he has left. And once he finds out that he only has about 15 seconds left, he is now starting to zoom to that finish line, making sure he can get across it. Unfortunately, taking the low road to the finish line, which is incorrect. He's got to take this higher line, hitting that ledge, taking the reverse, which I think is in the moment. You just got to do it, and then slamming through gate number 10. Taking that 10 points at the very end, which is unfortunate because, you know, you probably could have taken the extra. Well, they really could. Yeah, he had about a second left. He could have taken that extra second potentially to get through that gate clean. But in the moment, again, when you're really tight on time, I completely understand that. You're trying to just get through to the end. You don't want the 15 DNF points. And if it means that you're going to take 10 points just tapping the gate instead of the 15, you know, at least avoiding the extra 5 penalty points, then it is what it is. So I totally respect that move. This run, obviously not doing something right. And subscribe if you want to see more content like this every other week on Fridays. And yeah, but that's all I've got for you guys. Again, thank you to Rock Pirates RC for sponsoring the channel. Check out Rock Pirates RC if you haven't already. They've got some fantastic bits to add to your C channel vehicles, or if you're looking for a flat rail, they'll do that as well. Whether you're looking for a Class 2, a Class 3 rig, they've got you covered. And I appreciate you joining me, but until the next time, I hope you enjoy some scale trailing, maybe some RC comping, maybe some FPV drone, and whatever you're into. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.